excited are you to be here?
Super excited to be here tonight.
Great. Did you ever imagine that there would be another movie, Happy Death Day 2?
I was hopeful there would be a Happy Death Day 2. I just fell in love with the movie the first time I saw a rough cut of the first one, and I got to be a part of this amazing journey of making a horror time travel comedy. I say a horror time travel comedy. We've made the horror time travel comedy. But in the second one, what Chris Landon did, expanding on the characters and expanding on the world, getting to revisit the horror genre, but also make it more adventurous and in places more comedic and in places more emotional. I mean, I feel like this is the perfect companion film to the first one. So it was a blast. Yeah.
And can you talk about, there's such a great balance between the horror and the comedy. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think that part of my job as a composer was helping the film find its balance. We want all of these scenes to work at their absolute best. The emotional scenes, the scary scenes, the funny scenes. But the more you push in any given direction, the more you can have whiplash with the audience when you change styles very abruptly. Chris Landon is a brilliant director and a clear communicator, and I had a lot of fun just working with him in discussing how funny can this be, how emotional can this be, and we found, I think, a way to make the score tell the audience that all these different emotions are very real. So when we're going scary, it's scary. We go really funny. I mean, I got to play accordion on this score, okay, in a way that I thought I never would. And we get to go truly emotional. I mean, I think for me, the highlights were Tree's relationship with her friends and her family that hit a very raw emotional place for me. So to have all of that right under one cinematic experience, it was incredible.
So, Happy Death Day 1 premiere, did you ever think you'd be at Happy Death Day 2 premiere?
I did not. I did not at all, so I'm very excited to be here.
It's testing really well. How does that feel, the audience connection?
I've been seeing on Twitter that it's testing through the roof, so that's so exciting. I'm very happy for Chris and all of the cast.
What do you hope audiences take away from this one?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. There's so much heart in the film, and there's so much horror and laughter, so I hope that they just laugh up a storm and scream as equally.
How does this one keep it fresh, still taking place on the same exact day?
There are a lot of new... What did you say?
How does it stay fresh, still taking part on the same day?
Oh, because Chris has added so much to it. And there are so many new elements to it that are going to keep you on the edge of your seat.
Excited are you to be here?
I'm so thrilled. I can't believe it's here.
Awesome. So the first movie did really well,
Yes.
and fans are so excited for this one. It's testing so well.
Yeah.
What can audiences expect?
Honestly, a completely new movie. I think with sequels, and especially with horror films, they can usually use the same template and repeat it, and there's nothing that new. But Chris Landon was able to fully reconstruct this film. It's way more sci-fi, Back to the Future oriented, same characters that you fall in love with, and a couple new ones. But honestly, I think the audience can expect just a wild ride with new experiences and a completely different film.
And should audiences wait after the movie when the credits are over?
Absolutely, they should wait. There's definitely a little nugget of information they're going to want to catch at the very end. So stay, don't leave.
How does it feel to be back in this universe with Happy Death Day 2 being the sequel?
It feels great. Honestly, I think we're all just so happy to be back together again. I think when we made the first one, we all just had so much fun. We had no idea the reception or how it would be received. And so given this opportunity to come back together again and tell a story, but even make it greater with higher stakes is incredible.
When we were on the red carpet for Happy Death Day 1, did you ever think that there was going to be a Happy Death Day 2?
Negative, I did not. The original one, Tree actually dies in, and we did do reshoots just to see. Apparently people didn't like the ending. I feel like they grew to like Tree, and then they were taken away abruptly from her. So we did some reshoots, we changed the ending, but I really wasn't expecting it to turn into a sequel, and I'm happy it did. And when I heard that it might, I was like, what are you going to do with the sequel in this? And then Chris sent us a script, and my God, it blew us all away, so we hopped on board.
And this one is testing phenomenally, so congratulations.
Well,
what is it about this franchise that audiences connect with, do you think?
I think it's very lighthearted. I think it doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think we need to see a little more of that. It definitely pokes fun at everything, and I think everybody can relate at that. And I don't know. I guess it's I don't know. It goes with the flow. There's some scares, but then oh shit, now we're laughing, and then we're crying because you'll find out why. But
How did it feel to step into the same day again?
it was fun. At first, there were definitely moments where it felt a little too repetitive. I didn't care for the plaid shirt at the end of it, but the dorm room scenes were always a joy to film, especially with all the little gimmicks that we've added. And then adding the entourage, having that ensemble of people was really nice.
Why should audiences go see this movie?
You're gonna have fun, you're gonna get some laughs. You might find out that you have a bigger heart than, when you walked in or before you walked in. So, I don't know, it'll be fun.
When we were on the red carpet for Happy Death Day 1, did you ever think there was going to be a 2?
No, well, though, at the time we did the premiere for 1, Chris had, kind of sneakily pitched me the idea for 2, so I was keeping my fingers crossed, but I could have never imagined it kind of turned into what it did.
It's testing so well, so congratulations.
Thank you.
How does that feel?
It feels amazing. I mean, I am so proud of this movie, and it's so much fun, and I hope that audiences feel the same way about it that we do.
How did it feel to step right back into the same day?
It was kind of madness, but amazing. I mean, and every single member of our cast came back, almost our entire crew came back, plus a couple new faces, so it just felt like going back to summer camp.
For people who say, how do you make a sequel about the same day? How does it keep it fresh?
I think our secret ingredient was Chris Landon. That and a lot of really inventive, weird, fun deaths.
Yeah, I mean, this one's more outrageous than the last one.
Yeah. We definitely upped the ante, but that's part of what keeps it so fun, and I know it felt important to me and to Chris and to so many other members of the cast to not just make the same film again, which doing that with a loop film is really hard, but I think this one has a really cool sci-fi element. It's so funny, and there's a really beautiful emotional core in the middle.
Welcome, it's premiere day. How excited are you to be here?
I am so excited. My heart is beating 100 miles an hour, but I'm trying to calm down right now. So.
Great. Did you ever imagine from your first part in the movie to where you are now, being one of the main characters in the movie?
I didn't expect it. I really did not. But I really enjoyed filming the first one, and when I got the call, I was honored and excited to take it on.
Awesome. And audiences love the first one, and they're responding really well to the second one. What can audiences expect to take away?
More mystery, more epic adventure, and finally we get to see Jessica Rothe and Israel's the characters actually finally collide with each other, and we see that chemistry happening, and more details with other characters that we haven't seen in the first one.
Great. And as a second movie, how is it keeping it fresh and exciting from the first movie?
That's a secret formula I think that Chris Landon has up here that I don't know how he comes up with, but it's because of the timing with comedic and the scares. It's probably that, maybe. It's a secret, I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
When you premiered Happy Death Day 1, did you think there was going to be a Happy Death Day 2?
No, I don't think, only Chris did. No one else thought it was going to be a 2, but I'm very glad there is a 2.
It's testing really well. Congratulations.
Thank
How
you,
does that
thank
feel?
you. It feels great. People love it. I actually like it more than the first one. Only Chris could come up with a sequel to Happy Death Day, and I'm very, very proud of it.
What is it about this franchise that audiences connect with, do you think?
I think they connect with Jessica. I think we could never have done it without Chris and without Jessica coming back. She's she does an incredibly good job of playing a character who's kind of annoying, who you fall in love with, which is really hard to do, and she does it perfectly.
How does it keep it fresh when we're still back in the same day?
In the same day. Well, the movie begins the second the first movie ends, so it's a different part of the same day, and the adventures are bigger, better, funnier, and scarier.
How does it feel to be here tonight?
I'm excited. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to what they did with it,
What is it about this franchise that you think audience connect?
What they connect with?
Yeah.
I think it's a fun, horror slash, it knows what it is, and then people just go to it, they want to have a good time, not take life too seriously, just want to watch someone die a lot, and this is it.
How did this one keep it fresh, being about the same day?
Oh. Well, I think you'll have to see it to know. it's different. It's like psychologically different than the first one. It keeps you on your toes. I don't really know that much, and I don't want to give it away.
Excited are you to be here?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's finally, like, I can't believe how quickly they put it together, but I'm like, I'm just excited for people to see it.
And were you a fan of the first movie?
Yeah, I watched it, and then we watched it again on the flight to New Orleans before shooting.
Awesome. And the first movie tested really well. This movie is testing out of the water. What do you think audiences can expect from this movie?
I mean, it's much more surprising. I think it's funnier, and there's like tons of twists and turns, and you have no idea what's gonna happen next. And I'm just like excited for my mom to see it.
Red carpet of Happy Death Day 1, did you ever think you'd be on a red carpet of Happy Death Day 2?
No, definitely not. I mean, I don't think anybody did. This was never like a planned thing, but I'm so thrilled to be here. It's really awesome.
I've heard the testing is going amazingly.
People have been loving it. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Also, what is it about this franchise that people connect with?
I mean, I think a lot of it is the time loop. It's sort of like the fantasy / horror of being stuck in the same day, and I think a lot of people maybe feel like they are. But I ultimately think it's the character of Tree. I mean, I think that she's such a likable, relatable character that people are really drawn to her. So I think they're excited to come back and see her go through something a little crazy and new.
It's hard enough keeping one movie about the same day fresh. How did you do it for a second one?
Oh, we have our ways. I don't want to give anything away. But there's a new sci-fi element that allowed us to do some new stuff that's pretty cool.
And why should I go see this movie?
Because it's scary, it's funny, it has romance, it has heart, and I think it's very unexpected. So they may think they know what they're getting into, but they don't know.